Part 2, guys. Okay, where was I? I was drawing in this section and softening it up. Oh, right, wrong one. So yeah, I'm live again. I guess I was just streaming for too long. Anyways, I have the dark sections done now, right? And it is dark, so good. Now, funny enough, the mirror is as dark as it's going to get. Now, even in the lighter sections, it is still not super bright on this piece, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my pencil and I'm going to shade in some of the other areas with my charcoal pencil as opposed to a compressed charcoal piece. Yes, I could use the hard charcoal instead. I'm not going to. I'm going to use charcoal pencil for the lighter areas for now. If I want an area darker, I will make it darker later. But I'm going to work with what I know. This mirror here is the darkest part of the whole image. And so I'm going to get all this done. Oh boy. Is there any sharp corners left? No? Alright, I guess I'm breaking you. Thank you very much. I need sharp corners, please. I'm working with small details now, and rounded soft corners are nice and whatnot, but they will fuck me up. Okay. So, all the darkest sections are done. Now, what I can do here is, I will continue to... Actually, there is one other dark section, which is actually this, which, by the way, it ends right around here. There's a section 2. So I will actually finish coloring in this. Because of the shadow of the lotion, this is actually just about as dark as everything else. So what I'll do is I will color this in. I just won't smear it. That we still have some kind of light reflections. And those small little light reflections will kind of help, all in all, just holistically brighten up the image. Let me actually use the rounded side for this. Okay. We now have that done. Now, the next sections are considerably brighter. In fact, there's actually one right here. Which is really just light gray. By the way, I'm going to say this now just in case. I'm not looking at the live chat. So if anyone here is saying anything, I'm sorry that I'm not able to respond. I can't even see the live chat. Ow, my neck. I can't even see the live chat. I think I can open it up, though. If I open live chat, just show everything. Is it gonna print now? Can I actually see the live chat? I think so. Yeah, all message visible. Okay, cool. So I think that'll work. So if anyone... Oh, what the heck? If anyone says anything going forward, I should be able to see it. Okay. So, we have that done. There's other areas now that are almost as dark, right? Let me actually finish with this, though. I'll finish coloring in some areas. And I think I'll actually get this done first. This should help make it look solid. There's also a reflection, real quick. Right here. And it is this line here and this line here. Again, it's actually more narrow than that, but it'll feel a lot smaller once I've actually started coloring in around that area with the correct hue. It's gonna just get smaller inherently. Use a thick line to denote different form. Okay. There we go. Now, it is 3 o'clock. This is going to be the most difficult one to shade in and get everything done properly. Let me actually color this in a little darker now. Because what I'm doing basically is I'm looking at my still life and I'm figuring out it's like darkest, second darkest, third darkest, etc. Right? The darkest section is tied between this and the like dark brown squares on the chessboard. But and like the table. There are some dark spots on the table, but I'm not going to focus too much on those right now. Okay. This section here is also extremely dark. It's not pitch black, but it's extremely close. So I'm actually going to color this in now. Okay. There we go. Now this section is lighter, marginally, but it is. So I'll just faintly color it in for now. Because I don't know how it's going to compare to other darker areas, which I believe there are some areas that are darker actually. This section here is going to be a little bit darker. Okay. That much I know. Yeah, what happens if I try to erase compressed charcoal? Will it erase it all? Yeah, more than I thought. Okay, fair enough. So, and there is a little line right here, actually, where it's also a little bit darker. And then there is another line right here. No, it's about the whole span. Again, let me erase these to the best of my ability, because I did not think that I was going to regret doing test marks there. Okay. Now, funny enough, this part here is so reflective, it's like light gray, almost white. I'm not going to color this, because I fear that if I do, I will make it too dark. So I'm going to color in then the next spots. There is one right here, right, that is very dark. In fact, it is almost as dark as the really dark spots. So we're gonna color this in pretty potently with our charcoal pencil, and it's gonna taper off and become lighter at the bottom before getting darker towards the top. So I'm going to follow that. Now this side here, some light coloring, but nothing crazy. Okay. And so now the cool thing is, because I'm starting off with extreme gradients here, I can darken the light areas as much as I need to as I do this spot. Now this is going to be very dark. I'm actually probably not going to use compressed charcoal again. I think I'm done with the compressed charcoal. Just because of the fact that we have the mirror, which is extremely dark, but then everything else is actually about... All things considered, it's nothing darker than what I can do with my charcoal pencil. And so what I want to avoid doing is I want to avoid making anything that's going to look to be as potent as that mirror, since that mirror is as dark as it gets. Let me actually erase the star real quickly so it blends in a bit more as I color it. See, there we go. Let me also make this more apparent. There we go. Now, funny enough, I'm coloring right now in this lotion bottle, this plastic lotion bottle. There is subsurface scattering on plastic. So I need to just ever so slightly soften up the edges a little bit. I'm actually going to choose to smudge it. Because it should not be a perfectly sharp shadow. Okay. Let me do this side. Color this side even lighter. By the way, I'm actually going to do something really quickly. Just because the coloring is more intensive than anything else I've done so far in terms of shaking the table, I'm actually going to begin coloring in, or like building out the squares of this here chessboard now. Because what I really want to avoid having happen is I do not want this thing bending or collapsing in one way or another, and then I'm no longer able to draw it because I've lost the position. Following the bottom chessboard piece, that's the distribution. Oh boy, let's see. This is still my even distribution. Oh boy, it looks like that line goes up, but I think that line goes down. Fuck if I know. I'm looking at an optical illusion. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let me just follow this contour here, I think will be the most reasonable. Alrighty, there we go. Well, logic would say that this next one is right here, which means this needs to be down a little bit, actually. Oh, no, don't get in the way, eraser. Alright. Oh, neck. Okay. Alright, and final line. Oh boy, okay. I'll get that final quadrant done. Yeah, just let me breathe for a bit. Alright. I guess I should probably... Oh fuck, man, my neck is really messed up. I guess I should probably draw in the, This is actually off, by the way. And so is this line here, funny enough. Needs to be up here. So funny enough, this is like up here, and it cuts off because it's at the corner of the page. There we go. Okay. Now, onto the lotion bottle. So, it goes in, cap goes up, flares out a little bit, and then goes around and back down. So, with this here, there is a shadow on this side of the cap. The top of the cap, this piece here, actually has a slight reflection right here. And that reflection is a bit darker. What's it reflecting? I genuinely don't know. I think it's just distorting the board. So, fuck if I know. Okay. Here we are. Now, what I'm gonna have to do, this is gonna be a fun part, because basically, since I have to do the background, I should probably get to it, and start implementing it in. Maybe not doing it immediately, but just getting it really ready to go. So for example, I should put in my table line right here, which then continues over here, continues over here, and then continues outwards. And there's a glass there, so I guess I'm drawing that too now. Cool. Cool. We'll get to that. There is a seat behind here, which is just kind of doing its own thing. In the far distance, there's a curtain. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to readjust my line weights by making everything a lot bolder up front, at least with the outlines that connect to the back. And the reason being is because I need to make sure it's apparent where the background is and where the foreground is. And having ambiguity means that you won't really know what you're looking at. So, we'll do this. We'll have some slight, kind of like strong line weight right there. I'm going to, again, really strongly pronounce this bottle. And I'll actually keep the line weight pretty consistently rough throughout. And the reason being is because I also want to separate it from the table, right? So you're going to see a few distinct objects. I could use another banana. I'm getting hungry again. Oh, hey. Dark spot. Sweet. Oh. Yeah, so I'm going to draw the background. And in doing so, I need to distinguish foreground and background. I can have light lines, strong lines, weak lines, thick lines inside of my objects, but the outlines need to be distinct. I have about 8 hours left. Okay. So yeah, let's prime ourselves for this distinguishing factor. And I'm going to do so by, as I was saying, really outlining just everything that I can. Even these like really darkly colored sections, the outlining on them is weak. It's faded. So we're going to strengthen that. Speaking of, by the way, that section there is shaded, but not super shaded. So I guess I'll shade that in while I'm at it. Let me also outline it too. And if I'm dealing with a lot of dark areas, I need to make sure that there's strong outlines on the dark areas, just so that way it's apparent where things begin and end. I'm dealing with a very inherently kind of muddy object. So I need to make sure that I'm not lost inside of that mud. Okay. Now, there's also this section here, which is shaded and all in all dark as well. But again, I'm going to keep things on the extremes for now, so I have movement to adjust later. There we go. Okay. Well, I've procrastinated. It's time to do the glass. I think that's going to be our next step. We're going to get those reflections out of the way. So, with that in mind, there's a lot going on here with this glass. I could have put a glass standing straight up. That would have made it easier. No, I did not do that. So, let's start off with the easy part. There's actually a very white section right here that begins to taper off before it reaches the expansion point of the glass. The rest is actually pretty dark. Now, there is a streak of light. I'm going to need a really sharp pencil for this glass, aren't I? Because if I do use a dull pencil, that means that my detailing is not going to be nearly as strong. So, to avoid that being an issue, I'm going to sharpen this pencil to hell and back. Okay, yeah, that's very thin, malformed, and sharp, I guess. So, there we go. There's 3 little reflections encompassed in a ray of light that then tapers off right around here. I'm not going to fully outline it because what I want to avoid is making more erasure work for myself. There is a reflection right here as well, and a curve that happens here. Now, this is where things get very difficult for me. I'm going to try my best. I will avoid the really bright highlights for now, and I will focus on getting all the curvature done. There's a lot, mind you. There is a lot. I don't even know what most of these reflections are coming from. For being fully honest here, it is a complete mystery to me. And so I don't know if this is going to turn out really good or kind of shitty. As of right now, you know what? I'm going to say that it's going to come out pretty fucking nice. How about that? Oh boy. Alright. Right now I'm doing a lot of line work. One thing I do need to get done is there is a curve on the whole base of the glass that I've yet established. So I need to get that established. Because this curve is a basis for most of the distortion that happens. I need to make sure that the curve is in line with the geometry. Okay. Now, that's dark. It melds in. There's a little triangle down here where it also melds. This section is weird. There's actually a cross beam and then a circle and another cross beam. And these distortions here are going to help completely define where each of the reflections are, as well as help define the shape of the glass. Okay. Okay. Wow. It's a weird reflection. But I'm trying my best. And I'll be able to clean up as well. And I'll be able to make all of the bright spots more apparent as I go on. So I'm not too worried about that. In fact, the only thing I'm worried about is just making sure I have all my proportions right, which I think I actually got this wrong. That triangle's too wide. There we go. That is because this line is actually still, all in all, pretty decently visible, actually. Now, let's see here. There is a slight fold up and down again. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I can begin the next step. There are some light spots and some dark spots I need to make more apparent as I go, while also keeping in line with the reflections. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start working on shading larger sections. There we go. Alright, I can continue with this tissue right here. It bends in the reflection. Everything else can be colored in. I believe these are actually the same saturation. So I'm going to color in the table at the same saturation as I color in the chessboard. This is going to be what makes it look translucent. Also, there's another thing as well. Right here, there is a glowing spot. With some light circles right here. We want to avoid those. Yes, I can erase them and then thus make them brighter, but I'm trying to avoid having to do that. Well, that broke. Hello. Alrighty. There we go. There we go. Okay. Color this in. Let's make this a little bit darker, especially since it's all going to be the same general saturation. I don't want it to become ambiguous as to where the chessboard ends and the table begins, or vice versa. Okay, let's get these off here. I'm going to rotate this so I can also do reflections. Actually, you know, real quickly, there's a few others I should probably point out first. First off, there's a reflection. There's a reflection right here. I can actually see myself in the reflection, and I am right around here. There's another reflection that goes right here. I'm going to draw my reflection in the glass because I can. Okay. I'm not going to make it super detailed, but I'm going to make it apparent that there's clearly something there. There's also something right here, which actually continues okay. right beneath here is another reflection. So I have this now. Thing is, the table is black. So in other words, I'm going to have to work in very subtle shading. Here I go. Also, the remote was off, and I'm going to fix the remote. This is why I'm doing the remote last, because it's like a black remote. So I'm going to treat myself in this reflection as an anchor with which I can start working on getting all the other reflections placed. Okay. So, I got that reflection now. This is a toughie. So, oh yeah, by the way, there's a shadow from the chessboard. So I need to get that too. Which goes all the way down here, ignoring the reflection on there, because while it's faint, that reflection is one of the reasons you're able to tell the three-dimensionality of this. Okay. Now, there is another reflection down here, which actually stops at the bottle, or at the bottle, at the neck of the bottle. There's another reflection right here. Okay, so just ignore those reflections. Got it. And continue my coloring. Make the reflection a little more apparent. That way, when I add in everything, it's not going to blend in away entirely. I'll actually kind of soften up the reflections a little bit, but you get the general idea. Okay. I'm gonna cheat a little bit by using the same grain. I guess it's not really cheating for this coloring section here as well, to demonstrate where the glass is. Okay. Now that I'm just in the coloring aspect of it, it's a lot more calm, you know? I feel a lot less stressed, which is nice. Oh yeah, check this out. Let's make this brighter. Okay. Wow. Okay. By the way, I should probably... Did you move? Why, you moved a little bit. Okay. Anyways, I should probably begin working on the shadow work for the mirror. Stay parallel. Stay parallel. I saw a notification just now. What was that? Oh, come on. Down you go. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh yeah, I should probably outline this with a bit more pizzazz. Don't make me use that fucking compressed charcoal, why don't you? As I will. Actually, you know what? It's pretty dark. I think I'll actually go to medium on this. Because this shadow is on the darker side. Just move it over here a little bit. There we go. Hello, medium. You are going to continue to color for me. Thank you, thank you. Do some cross hatching. Even it out a little bit. There we go. I should probably get started on this next bit. So what I'm going to do here is this. I'm going to choose to color these squares here a particular hue. I will choose kind of like, I'll choose medium. And I will color all squares this kind of medium, I said hue, didn't I? I will color all squares this kind of medium saturation, right? Okay. I just realized that this line kind of got erased here. Let me, there you go. There we go. Let's actually keep doing it this way. It's probably easier for me. Okay, so now what I will do is I will proceed to color all of the squares that are in the shadow darker. And then I will also smooth them so that it is indeed darker in the shadows. Even the light squares will have to be darker. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Now here's the thing. This like tissue paper thing is considerably lighter than all the other items here. So I'm going to then erase in here to give it back some of its clarity. If I want shadows, I will give shadows back to it. An example is actually they're supposed to be lighter in this kind of spot. Okay. Lighter in this spot as well. It's kind of hard to do it with an eraser, so I'm going to kind of shade over it. You were the medium? Yeah, cool. You also need to be a little bit darker on your side here. Now, allow me to continue. Let me actually just gently kind of fade this part a little bit. It's a little bit too dark. Okay. Okay. No matter what happens, there will be a base shade that I do for all dark squares. Light squares I'll actually leave as white, because even then it's still kind of like a gray tone because of the kind of all-encompassing gray I put over everything at the start of this. Per the instructions of my professor. Worked out, too. After all, they would not tell me to do that if it wasn't the thing to do. So, only makes sense. Okay. So, there we are. I should probably get started with the other kind of checker pieces. So, I've put it off long enough. Let's get started. Now, I was told that I have to use every square inch of this paper. I don't know how serious or hyperbolic that was. If it was genuinely honest to God serious, I'm screwed because there are little edges that I haven't done. I am adding a glass in there, but I mean, I haven't done that part yet, and the day is still young. Also, this poor flashlight is going to burn out on me. Boy. Let's see. Well, first off, let me solidify this line. All right. There is this little bit here. It actually does go down a little bit to right about here. So therefore, now almost there. And this doesn't actually go to the top, therefore it kind of stops a little bit shy of it. I'm guessing at some point this thing moved. Okay. Whatever the case, though, it'll work out. Okay. So, next up, this. Now, I just need to bisect it. And then cut that in half. Cut this in half. Okay. Okay. Oh my Okay. There we go. I did get the lines measured out here, so it's best that I use them. Sorry for rubbing all over you other parts of the drawing. You're probably screaming in pain right now from the fact that I'm just kind of like violating all those nice sharp lines I made. Whew. Let me just rotate this. Oh shit, it's actually moving some of my props. Ah, good. Yep, that's accurate. Bottom one does indeed go to right there. Okay, grid complete. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, let's do this. Okay. There we go. That's done. Now let me add in the coloring on this side of things. Here we go. So, there's that. Now, for this light, let's continue developing. There is actually a darker shadow kind of like here and forward. So I'm actually going to color these in. And that shadow then continues on to right around here. So all squares in this section are actually darker as well. See, I have to make all these squares darker, right? Because they're in shadow. And you also have to take into consideration that the light squares being in shadow need to be darker as well. Oy. Oh, hey, there's a little tiny star there. Jesus Christ. Okay. Still going. Hand. Smear. Lightly smear. Other hand, or I guess eraser. Make brighter. You. Be also brighter. There we go, there we go. Okay. lighten you up a bit. Now, you also need to be considerably brighter, so let me erase this section. And let me add in stronger line work now to denote these squares. Okay. Okay. It's coming along. You know, I forgot to do the reflections for the base of the cup. Or glass. It's a wine glass. I need to do that. Well, you know, it's very fancy of me to say, yeah, it's a wine glass. So, I mean, yeah, it is, but it is a cup, though, still, technically, right? So, I guess I shouldn't be all up in arms over myself if I say it's a cup, because, I mean, it is. Okay. All right. It's kind of hard for me to show the shadow changes over the checkerboard, but there is a distinctive change. Ooh, sharp corner. So I'm going to try and show the shadow. It's also time I fully render as well this here paper towel. Okay. Okay. So then there is this section. Okay. Now, there is a fold right here, right here, right here, goes into there. This all aside from this here is shadowed. Okay. Less shadowed. This part shadowed. This section just about the same level of shadowing. Shadowed. Let's see here. Right about here, there is shadow. Very light shadow. Very light shadow. Shadow. Right here, there is a line that goes down, and it is sharing this line. Goes down to about there, and then it creases and continues there. There is a shadow here. This is a hard line. Shadow gets darker as it approaches that hard line. Distinctive shadow, light shadow, very light shadow, there is a line here that then dips down, shadow, This actually goes a little bit further. Shadow. No shadow, but still a line. Another line that goes here and follows a crease. There is a shadow here. Let's define that a bit more. Shadow goes down, across, down again, and across again, leaving this in shadow. This is in darker shadow. Keep that line consistent. There is a shadow. Well, first off, there we go. Shadow, and this is where the other shadow ends. Make this crease more apparent. And now we have a folded, tissue, paper towel thing. Okay, anyways. So with the advent of me completing the kind of shadowing of a good chunk of the board, let me actually shadow this more and make it more apparent. We can also strengthen its outline a little as well. There we go. Let's get the reflections on the rest of the glass done, but first, let's actually whiten this out like I was intending to. Everything around it actually needs to be considerably darker, because, would you guess it, if you remember, I'm on a black table. As a result, this needs to reflect that. Get it? Reflect. That's not really a pun, though, if that's just where the term reflect that came from. So maybe I'm not as clever as I thought I was. Okay. Going to lightly shade this part in, but there are some other areas on here that are lighter than like white, and then there's other areas that are kind of grayish. So let me also clean up this reflection. Fuck me, huh? Clean up this reflection. Okay. There is another set of reflections in here. Let me, Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that controller really fucking moved. It's now actually behind the glass. Okay. Sure. Let me really quickly get this outline done. It is very quickly going to become extremely difficult to tell where the glass begins and ends as I add in more detail. So therefore, the glass is the next thing that I will bring in. Okay. Oh yeah, I should probably just while I'm at it here, help me make sure I'm in the right position for the mirror at least. There we go. I almost forgot. I need to color this in too. Okay, that's colored in. There's a beaker here, and again, remember, there's other random shit in the background. I don't even know what it is, but I'm not too worried about that. Real quickly, it is almost 4:30, so I'm not too hard pressed for time right now, especially since I'm finishing up a lot of the drawing. So that's good. Where I'm currently at is I'm going to. Oh, the fuck are you? Oh, you're the other key. I see. Yeah. I'm probably going to have to start adding in. I'm so fucking close to just getting rid of that fucking remote. I hate it. But I'll keep you in, and I will draw you at. No, you know what? No. Oh shit. It's holding the glass there. Fuck. Fair enough. Okay, well, I guess I'm keeping the remote here, so cool. The remote is right here, follows a curved angle. It does overlap the glass partially. It ends somewhere down here. So it overlaps the glass and continues on to right about there. Now the remote end is right about here. Goes up towards the folds. First off, actually has a pretty sharp angle right here, but that's not what I'm paying attention to necessarily. It's going to go here, peak right there, and then it's going to follow down. It's going to look like this. With the remote actually not having that sharp of an edge before dipping. Okay. Black remote. That's gonna be so difficult to fucking color in because it's already so close to homogeneous in color. Oh man. Okay. Well, here I go. Actually, you know what? There is something funny. This is almost the same color as the dark spot over here. So I'll actually use soft, and I will color this part in. Okay, let me get rid of some of the test lines to sharpen it up a little bit. Okay. Black on black on black on black. This is going to be so absurdly difficult to draw. Wow. I'm really taking it in on this one. Really taking it in. Okay. Well, let's start off by sharpening my pencil. And, hey, I have been streaming for 91 more minutes. Not bad, huh? Finally did it. The pencil sharpener broke my lead. Alright, let me, get back my lead real quick. Oh, no, don't you tell me. Oh, you broke that one, too. Okay. One last try. You break my lead again, and I will replace you. That is a promise. A promise I will keep. Okay. You know what? It's a little dull, but I will stick with that as opposed to having to open up a new pack of pencils. So, here we go. Where was I? Yes, fine details. The kind of details that you need with a sharp pencil. Well, here I go. There is a line right here to right here. This is the remote button line. Actually goes like right to the edge. It's gonna look like this. It's gonna be a very deep saturation. There is a part beneath it. It's a little less dark. There is a button right here. That is a matte black. About that saturation. There is a button right here. Matte black. There's a button right here. Matte. There is a circle right here that goes straight a little bit before curving again. Why did I choose this? With an indented circle in the middle. Okay, looks like this. With this still being colored in, just considerably less so. Compared to the outer edges. There is a circle right here. Quite literally, it's on the edge. Okay, there's another one right here. there is then a power button right there. And then the whole remote is also generally just darker, but also lighter than the table in some spots. So I'm going to do just a general finish of gray on this. Do the table next. Okay. All right, and now for this reflection, then the table. Because after I get that reflection done, aside from doing the glass at the very end of my paper, it's mostly table and background. Okay. So there's a reflection right there. Goes back in on itself. That's actually a little bit wider. There's another reflection. That's just a really thin line that's going around. Most of the dark spots swirl and converge towards the middle. The middle being right there. Beneath the middle, there is this section, which is darker. And I should make this darker still, because there's another area that's actually going to be a lighter gray. Okay. Okay. Now, there is another section right here. There's a C. Part of the glass actually warps up and goes around, which is this section here. There's a lot of warping in this section, which I can define with lines. Whew. Okay, there we go. Oh boy. Okay, here comes the next part. Let's do, before I get carried away, let's do the background and get all the lines done, basically. There's the table. There is a curtain that starts off right here, and it goes up at an angle. There is another aspect of the curtain right there that bends in. and then up, parallel. For the record, it actually has a bit of a shadow going like this, though. Alrighty. There is, jeez, in the background, middle B, there is a little thing there. And it can be seen doing this. Okay. There we go. It's actually going at an angle, and so I'm going to see it going kind of like that. And I'm specifically choosing to keep everything in the background light. Alright. And the reason I'm choosing to keep everything light in the background is specifically because I want to avoid making things in the background look like they're in the foreground. Doing that is an immediate way to confuse your viewer. Okay, there we go. Make this even lighter. Those are the curtains. There's some other shadows back here, which are of the curtains. There is one particular part of the curtain right here, which is very dark. There is a candle in this section, and then, well, technically this section actually ends right here. But it is with a stack of a bunch of cards. which are stacked up to around here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, with that in mind, these cards go down here. Wowzers. Alright. Perspective is this direction. Okay. Now, right here is where the first kind of pillar of sorts is. It goes down here. There's a candle right here, which quickly juts towards the player. That's what I'm speaking in game development terms. Right. The edge of the candle does not actually go over the edge there, so I shouldn't do that. I should stop while I'm ahead. Believe that. Get rid of that. All right. Quickly juts out at a wider angle. All right, fill it in and grade out. It's kind of like a waxy candle. It's a little bit wider too. Okay. Okay. The next one is right here. Okay. Some random pens. There's one there. There's a top here. This goes down and intersects with that top, which is why you cannot see the bottom. There's another pen top that goes along here. And then right here, That's off in the distance. Okay. Jeez, man. This is starting to get a little painful, actually, sitting in the same position and craning my neck down. But I think I'm nearing completion. It is 4:46. I have until 11 at night. So you know what? I might actually get myself some dinner. You see, the thing is, I am assuming that I cannot pause the timer, which means I need to let it run, and if I choose to take a break or eat, that is on my own time where I'm running out. So there is that. I might just have myself another banana instead, though, and keep working on this. Is that wet? No, that's a fingerprint. Alright, just got to finish up all these kind of like hardening lines. And then I'm going to work on rendering the table. The table is the one I'm most worried about doing, specifically because of the fact that it's so dark. I'm worried that if I'm not careful, then I can end up going too far into it and making it hard to read with all the other items kind of drawn up. So we'll see. But right now I'm just going to get some of the stuff that I'll need to get done anyways finished. My philosophy is there's no unimportant and important things when you're drawing. Every time your pencil is on that paper, you are getting one step closer to what you need to do. Now, might you be avoiding the stuff that you're dreading? Sure. But are you wasting your time? No. Now, I mean, if you start, like, let's say I do this, and then 30 minutes later I'm like, let me make him even darker. Then I guess maybe, yeah. Like, if I start retreading over already done things, then I suppose that could be seen as a waste. But otherwise, as long as every line you're doing has a reason, and is... Okay. You haven't broken my pencil yet, and I'm hoping that you don't. As long as you're not retreading, I guess is kind of where I'm at. Gently does it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think I just need to gently sharpen my pencil. And the reason I'm also going over these lines and darkening them as well is because of the way I've done the shading. If I do not have defined lines here, it will look like I just kind of bullshat my way through the squares and roughly shaded some squares in, right? As opposed to drawing the squares and then shading them afterwards. So I need to make sure that it's very apparent where all the squares are precisely. Failure to do so will result in very messy looking squares. I mean, they are already a little iffy, right? Like, oh shit. There goes the sharpness of that pencil. It's not like I just sharpened it. Oh, there it goes again. I'm pressing too hard. But at the same time, I'm trying to go for strong lining. It's gonna look fucking nice, though, tell you what. There we go. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to go over, like, say, the paper towel, crumpled up paper towel thing. I'm not going to go over that and harden its lines because a lot of the lines in there are already pretty solid. And even the ones that aren't are shading lines. So, like, I'm not really all that concerned about them. Having soft lines is not bad. Nope, not in the slightest. I just want to make sure that the lines that could be misinterpreted are not misinterpretable. Okay. Whew. Wowzers. Now, I have a glass. I have everything else kind of drawn out. Let me get the key done real quick. Little spike right there. And then it kind of goes out, over, and in, but it keeps going. I know what key that is. That's my old car key. No, it's my new car key. Regardless, there it goes. Okay. Let me just color this in now. Okay. I'm going to start just kind of like lightly shading items that need to be lightly shaded. And the lightly shaded items, mind you, are actually really dark in real life. Again, I am going on the extreme of it with the intent of ensuring that if I do need to make something darker, I can. But I cannot make it lighter, so there's no point in me trying to do that. There's a little bit of reflection right there, so I will leave that alone as I'm shading. Okay. Now the Wawa card. It's already kind of dark. Do I have to spell Wawa upside fucking down? Oh my god. Oh, that's gonna be painful. Well, I get one in Rome, I guess. One in Rome. Here I go. First off, let me just clean this up, make it look less like a sketch and more like an actual render. I'm not going to draw the extremely small words on there that I cannot read. So, you can forget that. But I am going to just finish fleshing out the actual remote here. And then finish fleshing out its shading as well. Okay. Let's get some of the shadows done first. There is a shadow right here, which is coming from the chessboard. And it's pretty dark, so I'm going to go over it a few times. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to make my glass here translucent as opposed to transparent to help let it continue popping out. There are other areas that are pretty dark as well. For example, in between the not napkin, tissue, paper towel, right? And the glass is, again, pretty dark. It's table there, so it's a black table. So therefore it's going to reflect that. Now it's also between the keys. It's gonna be pretty dark there too. So you can now see where all that shaping out of all my items is really paying off. Because before I start coloring in the table, I need to have my outline solid, because once I color it in, that's it, it's colored in. I am not able to get rid of it. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. Next up, this section. Now, thankfully, there's actually a key that just so happens to accidentally outline a darker object on my keychain. So, as a result, I can color this in as dark as I ought to without it muddying up my keychain. Yeah. Professor said, render the whole page. So god damn it, I will render the whole fucking page. Okay, let me just like make this a little easier. No, don't move that. Let me just make this a little easier to color on by... I could move my body. That's dangerous, because then I lose the perspective that I was at, and I'd have to try and re-get it again. And I want to stop having to do that, so I'm just going to move the paper. I could use the compressed charcoal for this. The compressed charcoal gets a lot darker. That is true. It's also, I'm noticing, less precise. So, in the spirit of precision, I'm going to continue using this. I will use the compressed charcoal where I feel it is needed. Okay. Let me just spin that a little bit. Go. Now there, fuck, that's right, there's a little key here. I forgot about this key. It kind of goes at an angle like this. It's hard to tell the exact angle though, because of how close it is to me. So the key starts off kind of right. So I'm not too worried about this part here. Starts off kind of right here. Ends down here, so... I'm just going to kind of outline the key for now. And I will focus on... Oh boy. No, don't... Okay. There we go. Now, some things are hard for me to see as a person drawing this. I want to avoid that for the viewer. So I'm going to try and make even the things that are very close in color still distinguishable, so that we don't have to worry about ambiguity. It keeps going, so I shall keep going then. Let me, I'll leave some space when coloring this in, to make sure that I'm not screwing myself over on that kind of last key section. Now, there is one thing I need to be wary of. There is a reflection on the table. Of the glass reflecting the table. So there is that. Which is right about here. Right here. Thankfully, thank fucking God, it's at the very edge of my paper. Which means I don't have to worry too much about it. But it is enough that I would have to be like, ugh, that looks so annoying. Okay. So now I just gotta be mindful of where not to color while I'm doing this. And joke's on you, chessboard. I already drew you. And I'm finished with you. So I don't have to worry about that. Okay. There we go. Whew. Not done yet. There's still more. Now this part's funny because I've colored in all of the dark parts of the table. However, the table is slightly reflective. So, technically speaking, not all the table's dark. It's actually, some of it's blue. It just reflects blue. That part of the table, you might be wondering, is this part. It's going to go kind of to right here. So I'm going to finish coloring in what I can. Because going forward, at least for this section, there's a good amount that is, again, fucking blue. The only exception being the remote reflection. This doesn't have a reflection, hence why it is a shadow. You can't reflect a shadow, there's simply the absence of reflection in a mirror, which creates a shadow. Now here's where it gets dangerous, because I'm coloring this in. The remote is also inherently very dark, so it's suddenly going to start to lose its shape. In which case, I need to very definely bring its shape back and color in the remote with a bit more finesse. To make this considerably darker as well. Okay, now this section here shows some light. I'm going to very lightly color in this reflective area. Just like nowhere near as dark. There we go. This area actually can be pretty dark. Yeah. No. This part can be. Really outline that glass. Okay. Next bit. There is a shadow right here. That shadow goes down very far. It's a reflection. A shadow reflection. It's... fuck you. So, here we go. Alrighty. It's going to need to be darker than this. So I'm going to keep going. Also, let's update the shadow a little bit here. Okay, there we go. Now we have more of our stuff done, but we're not done yet. So there is another reflection we gotta do, which is going to be this reflection. That's the reflection of this here, which then also kind of stops around here, actually. I'm going to have to sharpen up this shadow line just a little bit. Actually, fun fact, this is slightly visible in the shadow. Okay, back to it. Okay. Another fun fact, you can also see the reflection of the mirror in here too. Which is shaped like that. There is also a reflection of underneath the mirror, which you end up seeing it as this. I'm going to then color this section in, make this darker still, rotate this, and really go in on the shadowing here. Okay. Then, there is a glass here. The glass that I love to draw and do so every single time I make a still life, even apparently when I don't mean to. Sure. Yes, I could just move the glass out of the way. Why, that would be a smart thing to do. But you see, you fool, I've already drawn the reflection inside of the reflection of the mirrors. So therefore, I am now forced to draw this. Because I'm stupid. Let me also finalize this here by indeed darkening this. And darkening this. So I'm going to adjust its gradients now that I kind of have a good gauge for where everything's at. Alrighty. You fool. Thinking I wouldn't draw the glass that's clearly there specifically to be drawn because there's no other reason I'd have a glass of water near me. Not at all. No. I would never do something so stupid as just leave a glass of water on a table. What do you think I am, a fucking loser? A water bitch? Yes. Yes, I am. But that's aside the point. Fuck me. Okay. Okay. See, I have to draw literally everything. Nothing can be underdeveloped, as I have been instructed. And so I will take that to the most literal degree, in that if I see it, I have to draw it. Even if that is not what I was told to do. Hey, Teach, I didn't have a cloth I could put up or a blank wall I could draw against, so I just drew everything in the background. Sorry about that. I hope you like it. Some of these items were 6 feet away, so I did the best I could, Teach. Thanks, Teach. Alright, there's a little, like... there we go. Alrighty. Well, that's colored in. Let's color in some more shit. This can be considerably lighter because it's the front of the box 6 feet away. Okay. You can tell what I'm focusing on and then what's all the way in the fucking back. By the way, yes, you're right. If I were a better person, I probably would draw all of the letters on the label of this item. It sucks that I'm a horrible person. Yep. That's what I'll take from it, is I'm just a horrible fucking person. So, as a result, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna draw all of the words on this label. And you know what? I could do it, I'm sure. But I fucking won't. since I really only care about like pure white being for extremely bright reflections or glass reflections, I treat both the same. I'm not too worried about like smearing shit as I'm drawing. You gotta be even darker. Okay. You know what? I just want to say real quick, AI could never mimic my incompetence. I'd like to see it fucking try. I was thinking recently about, like, oh, AI is taking over the art industry and all that stuff, and that's fucking true. That is actually true. AI is fucking shit up. Not in a good way, either. But you know what? You fucking know what? I'll tell you what. The stupid fucking mistakes I make are safe. I make very Ayla adjacent dumb decisions. I draw an incredibly complex scene with the tact of a 3-year-old. Okay. Not the skill of a 3-year-old. I would like to think I have more skill than a 3-year-old. But what I will say is that most certainly, I have the intelligence and decision-making of a 3-year-old. This seems like a good idea. Let's do... Ooh, that was a bad idea. It's kind of where I suffer. Now, granted, there's also the table beneath everything. Is that what the fuck is that? That's a key sticking out. There's a fucking key sticking out there. Oh my god. Of course there's a fucking key sticking out. Alright, there's the key. Sticking out. As keys do. Okay, now this is going to be also a very dark part of the drawing. Let me make sure I got my lines nice. Oh yeah, by the way. Yeah, if you're watching this and you've made it this far, you're clearly a fan of mine. So I'd like to give you an update. You know that one video I made a while ago after like Trump won presidency and I was like, man, it really sucks that our country just kind of let hate win. And, here we are, right? So we literally voted someone who is anti-trans, homophobic, sexist. We now know that he's definitely a pedophile because there was contention before. We didn't know whose pussy he was grabbing, but now I guess so. Man, fair enough. Just want to say, how are those gas prices doing? Has wokeness finally ended? Have we defeated wokeness? I know I'm barking up the wrong tree, because again, if you're watching this and you made it this far, you're probably a fan of mine. But I just thought I'd say that question out loud. Like, yeah, you sure showed the libs there. I gotta respect you for that. I think. It's I loved the way that you hit yourself in the face with the hammer, and sure told me what for. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I genuinely don't know. I just thought I'd ask because I'm like, it seems kind of like shit's a little weird here, Seems like people are suffering for the consequences of their actions and are apparently very surprised about it. Yes. I don't know. Okay. There we go. Hey, you know what? I've been saving this for a rainy day. This is gray. I'm about to make that white. That way, it really reflects the light blasting onto it. There we go. Okay, now. I have almost everything done. Almost. I'm not done yet, though. I didn't even have to use any of the copious amounts of pencils I bought, by the way. Just want to point that out. Because this pencil here has been extremely kind to me, all things considered. I mean, look at it. It's still going strong. It's all tiny now, though. Look at it. All right. Anyways. Ow, my neck. Okay. I guess I should start with the glass. Which is right here. And fuck me. Okay, let's see. If this is where the table is, the glass is literally right there. Alright, the bottom of the glass is just about in line with here. So therefore, there we go. We're going to delete that negative space. Put that right there is actually more akin. And now the fun part. The swirly swirls begin right around here. So I'm going to just... There we go. All right. I'm not drawing this pen. Get the fuck out of here. No pens allowed. Okay. It's gonna go right off. Okay. That's fine. So there's going to be... here. It actually should go like this. Alright, let me grab that eraser. Didn't think I was going to be drawing two glass objects today, but here I am doing that exact thing I didn't think I was going to do. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. There should be a little bit... that there... There's a particularly thick shadow right here. Goes like that. Okay. Seriously, I was not intending on drawing this. And then I realized last minute, fuck. There's a glass here. And realized, oh no. If there's a glass here, and I'm too, like, what's I'm looking for? Egotistical to not draw it, so here I am. Oh boy. I'm just kind of... Oh god, my neck. I'm eyeballing this one. Thankfully, I think I have a decent kind of sense of where things connect at, purely based on kind of like experience with drawing now. So I'm kind of done proper service there. Do that. There's actually some slight reflection right here. There is a slight right there. There we go. And then there is another piece right here that gets sucked up. Alright, this goes across, up, and then this is actually shaded in fully. And then oh yeah, you thought I forgot that there's a table behind this glass. Oh no. Oh no, I did not. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to get the reflection going. Okay, and then light shading right here. Light shading right here. Ah. I hope my teacher likes this. I hope my professor enjoys what I did. I put a lot of effort into it. I did a lot of work for this. And I don't know how to feel about the fact that it's taking me less than 6 hours so far, including the fact that I went on a 20-minute break to grab some compressed charcoal that I'm basically not using. But it's cool. Let's kind of smooth that out a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we do this section. And I still have to color in part of the mirror to re-darken everything, but now that I kind of know what I'm working with. Jesus Christ, man. Oi! Alright, there's some other shit down there, too, that I have to draw. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at, but there's, something in the background. Yeah, and basically, to get the feel of your eye focusing, I am drawing everything that's further away in a very dreamy kind of aesthetic where yeah, there are outlines, there's curtains and shit, but it's all pretty hard to actually get your mind around in terms of what's there. Like, there's something here. It's a vague shape. I genuinely don't know what I'm looking at. All I know is its shape, which is a very soft kind of cube. So I'm drawing a soft cube. But I don't know what it is. Funny enough, it's actually darker than the table. Okay. So there might be like a label on it. Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's a fucking roll of tissue. I was actually pretty accurately drawing it just by the fact that I knew it was a roll. Because I'm like, it looks like there's a label on it, but I just can't really tell what. Okay. I have drawn fucking everything that I can. So much. I will also draw the folds in the curtain still. And then you know what? I'm going to stop the live stream because after this point, it really is just touch-up work. I will, let me just finish this up though, but I'll probably talk to y'all like later, you know? I mean, thank you for joining the stream if you're here. I'm hoping that YouTube will let it just kind of upload as like a VOD, right? I don't know. I don't know, but whatever the case, I think I did a pretty decent job. Y'all have a good night and stuff. Oh, jeez. Bye. How do I end the stream? Oh, I think I just do this. Blah, 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 blah. Turn off. End the stream. Ooh, actually, do I have any comments? Hey, you know, I'll read some comments real quick. Alrighty. Alright. Live chat. I don't think there's anything, so cool. Alright, bye!